Hey guys, it's Maymay again, and disclaimer, I have a cold. I've been to the doctor, got a shot. It's not doing a whole lot for me, but so if my voice sounds funny, that's why. And I'm gonna try not to cough through this video. Tonight's video is more of a technique than it is a hit or miss card. So we're gonna call it a hit or miss card technique tonight. So here's what we're gonna do to start. I've cut 2 pieces of red paper, and I gotta be honest, see my fingernails? They inspired some of this, so this is interesting. Anyway, 2 pieces of paper which are cut to be mats, the mat size for an A2 size card, which means that this one is 4 1/4 by, no, it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. So both of them are cut to that same size. Now what you're gonna need for this technique is a scoreboard, and it doesn't matter which one you use. For this first one, I'm gonna use my small scoreboard, and for the second one, I'll show you what we're gonna use with the other one. This is the important part, that it is white core. And you know, I don't usually like the white core paper, but I kind of had an idea, and this is how it started. So the first thing you're gonna do is place your paper into your scoreboard, okay? And you want to score it every 1/2 inch at this point. So every 1/2 inch all the way down. All right, so now that you've scored every 1/2 inch, which you probably can see better on the back side, now without flipping the paper over, we're just going to turn it long ways, keeping the score lines facing down. You want the indentation on the top. Now what you'll do is come back and score every 1/4 of an inch. And again, remember, you need to be fairly firm, but you don't want to rip this paper, and you can get kind of dizzy doing this, so pay close attention. That's one of the cool things I like about this board. It has these little grips in it, so all I have to do is get to where I need to be at the top and pull down and know that I'm in the right spot. And I got 1 more 1/4 to do, and it's going to be tough, but we're just going to do our best right here. Got it. Okay, so now, can you see this pattern that I've kind of built on the back of it now? It's kind of cool looking. All right, and now for the fun part. For your next step, what you'll want to do is flip the card over so that the raised score part is up. So you'll have the textured part on this side and the indented part on the back. So you want to do that. Now, I don't know what you use for your distressing of paper or what have you, but this came in a distressing kit I bought from Close to My Heart a long time ago. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to lay this flat on my white core paper, and I'm going to just rub it back and forth on this white core. And can you, oh, and I know my desk is shaking, I apologize. But can you see that pattern that's starting to emerge? You're going to go in this direction, flip around and do this direction. Now you're going to turn it and go in the other direction. And I'm not trying to do anything except distress the score lines that we created. And now we'll just knock all the dust off. And we'll bring it up and show you what we've created. We created a brick wall. And I just love this. I thought this was so cute. Now, notice that it's not like perfectly straight and stuff, but when you cut it, you can cut it straight. So I'm going to show you what I did with this card, or how I used this on a card. With this technique, I actually made this card. I'm bringing it up close so you can see. Now, what I did on this brick area is I inked with a little bit of brown, I don't remember which one it was, but just a brown ink and a sponge. And what I'll do is I will put a list to all the products it takes to do this card, and I'll have a picture of it on my website. So you should be able to kind of feel around and see how I did this one. But that's what we did with the brick technique. How cool is that? Now, again, using a scoreboard, but this time I'm going to use the big Martha Stewart board and another piece of red paper. But the key to this one is the envelope maker and this scoreboard. So I'm going to put this envelope maker right here where it goes in the corner. I'm going to try to get this to where you guys can see it really good. And now with this piece, I'm going to place it all the way at the top, which will be at the 6 inch mark, is where that little point will go. And then the key to this is to hold this piece down and don't lift up. Now, for this piece of paper, here's what you're going to do. Firstly, you're going to score it every inch. I'm going to start at 6 and score 7, 8, and I'm just putting the scoreboard in the groove where that is and pressing and letting it run down. Now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. 5, 4, almost messed up, 3, And if you can too, but I can't. Now what I want to do is I want to go to every 1/2 inch and score. So 6.5 is here. I want to score once, but I want to go back to that and I want to go 1 notch over on each side and score both of those. So we just did 6.5. We're going to go 1 notch in and score it. 1 notch out from 6.5 and score it. Okay, skip 7, go to 7.5 and score on 7.5. And then you want to do both of those score lines beside 7.5, inside and outside. Okay, and if you have room, go to 8.5, score 8.5, come in 1 notch, and if you can do it, 1 out. And we got a tiny piece on that one. You want to continue that here. Go to 5.5, score in a notch, and out a notch. Whoops. All right, we're going to go to 4.5, score in a notch, and out a notch, and just continue doing that. 3.5, in, oops, in and out. And then the same thing here at 2.5, which I completely messed up there, and then out a notch, and in a notch. So it's gonna give you a pattern, something like 3 lines, 1 line, 3 line, 1 line, like that, kind of give you a little variated pattern. But the cool thing is it's going to be diagonal. Can you see that? So let me show you what I did with this one. You can imagine it's the same technique as before, right? This time I'm going to go at a diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to scrape on the diagonal. And now, once I have scraped on the diagonal all the way around, I'm going to come back and scrape on the line, trying to remove as much of that red on that score line as possible. As you can see, now we have a candy cane paper. It's not showing up as well on camera. I wish it was, but it is wider than that. And something else I did on this one is I roughed the edges up more to kind of give it an old antique feel. So that's my interpretation of candy cane. And let me show you the card that I used it on. This is the card. I love this card. And see how cute that came out in the background? We just kind of made our own background paper. And this is, there's so many stamp sets that I used on this card. What I'll have to do is just kind of put this on my blog in a list. I'll have all the products listed underneath the blog post. So go to my blog at www.maymaymadeit.com and you'll see all the pictures and everything there. But that's how we used it and made our own candy cane stripe. All right, guys, is this technique a hit or a miss?